money.
When he would go out and do personal appearances,
he was Boss Hog.
yeah, I mean, he didn't go as Sorrel Book, he went as Boss Hog, and he put the costume on at 9 o'clock in the morning and maybe see thousands of people and never get the slightest, not only not get out of character, but be working improvisationally the whole time in character. And he went out just about every weekend. The guy worked 7 days a week.
Well, I remember one of the first times I ever rehearsed with Boss, like you were saying, before the scene. It was when Andrew Johnson was on the show playing the bad guy, the guy from Dirty Harry. So I sat down in the chair and they started running their lines in Japanese. Because Boss was a brilliant man. He spoke 6 languages.
I remember that.
Yes. Brilliant man. And Andy also knew Japanese, so they started running the scene in Japanese. And whenever my part came, they'd just stop and look at me, and I'd throw the line in English.
You know, Denver Pyle was a sort of he was like an anchor. You know, I mean, that guy was so solid and so consistent, so experienced. And he was, you know, he was order. You know, Boss Hog and Brosco were the law, which in Hazzard County was, you know, what it was. But Denver Pyle, as Uncle Jesse, was order. He was tradition.
Yep.
And, he was family.
And he taught, I think, not just the Dukes and the rest of us around there, but generations of kids how to behave. Right from wrong, good from bad, a real moral authority.
It was a great way to be able to help raise your kids. And yeah, there was the driving and all that sort of things. But I've had so many people now over the years come back and say that they were so thankful to have a safe place to go on Friday night that actually helped them with their kids on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
That's right. Things that I've been involved in since, it never ceases to amaze me how people just don't know how to deal with cars and cameras, Paul. You spoiled us. I mean, when I look at the show or I do something else and I think, you know, gone are the days of the beautiful fallen oak tree and the water with the ducks on it and I mean, it's just so beautiful. Remember those great shots? We'd have the trees down and there'd be, remember one where the ducks were on the lake and then all of a sudden the General Lee comes flying over and the ducks are just getting out of the way. And
there was one essential element to the Dukes of Hazzard that people often overlook because, you know, Roscoe and Boss and then you and not just the camaraderie. Not just the camaraderie. No, more than that. No, I'm talking about Paul Baxley.
yes.
And Paul Baxley and his guys created the tone of this show, the pace of this show, the spirit of this show. They did it down in Georgia, and by the time we came out of there was an extraordinary thing happening. He took the chemistry of the cast and the fun of the idea and brought it to life. Him and those stunt guys, Gary and Craig and Junior and Henry and Bob Orson, deserve credit. For making us look good week after week, and to me it was his show.
They were fabulous.
These guys did more stunts before lunch than most people do in a week. And there was a shot where the General Lee was driving through a ravine somewhere, and the 2 police cars came up and jumped on either side of the creek and then hit, boom, and then spun and then landed.
Yes.
And the General Lee, right.
Yes.
You had
That
to
was
bring in specialists for that.
I love Georgia. I thought it was just
Georgia's a beautiful state.
didn't have to build anything, do anything. Jump the car through a barn. They'd say, "Go ahead."
Yeah,
We're going to tear it down anyway. You're helping us out.
Oh yeah. Never. And all the people would come out and help you. Like out here, you know, you got to pay them $50 million to turn around. There we drive the horses, the cattle, the cows, everything. It was just absolutely.
Jimmy and I were in the police car and it flipped over, right? And suddenly, and the car's still smoking, and Gary jumped out and everything, and I look around and here comes Jimmy Best I thought, I said, Jimmy, are you going to do this? And he said, yeah. I said, oh my God. And I turned to Paul and I said, it's still smoking. It could catch fire. And you said, Peg, we only had enough gas in to flip it over like a half a cup. It's not good. And I said, oh God. And then you said, baby, you can do it.
You did it.
Anybody calls me baby. Hi, Paul.
No, listen, she didn't back away
And
from
we
anything.
did it.
And Paul had so much fun doing close-ups, if any of you recall.
Not to me, he never
okay,
did.
well then let me just tell you
Not
what
to you, baby.